Hello, and thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to spend with me. I welcome you to another discussion, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say about today's topic. I hope that you're all keeping well, taking care of yourself, honoring yourself, and nurturing your needs as you continue to journey beyond narcissistic abuse. Today, I'd like to talk to you about the demonic betrayal of narcissistic parents. And this betrayal takes shape in the form of isolation. You know, when we consider the role of parents, it's so important. We look to parents to love us, to give us guidance, security. We look to parents to nurture our needs. Not just physical, emotional, psychological, but also our spiritual needs. Our parents provide for us financially. They share wisdom with us. They impart wisdom with us, actually. Give us godly counsel. And we experience life with them. We do life together. But the tragedy of narcissistic parents is their children are guaranteed to not experience any of those things. The narcissist is always going to be consumed with their own needs, their own desires, and they're going to be driven by honoring what they have been commissioned to do. Their assignment is always to work against God's children and against God's kingdom. When we talk about the betrayal of narcissistic parents and how they isolate their children, this is a grooming process. And we can't make light of this grooming process because what it does essentially is it ensures that their child becomes a forever supply to them. But not just only to them, but their child will remain for a source of supply, a source of narcissistic supply to every other predator that they will encounter. They become a target for other types of narcissists, other types of predators that they will encounter in life. And the tragedy of all of this is that the parents set them up for this. They do it to guarantee that their children will be forever supply. You know, when we consider this in the context of the family structure, sometimes you'll have narcissistic parents who want to ensure that their children don't even experience life. They don't want to push them off into the world. They want these children to remain their slaves for the rest of their lives. And what that means is that this child is kind of taught that you will honor your father and mother. And that doesn't mean whether they're, a spiritual family, a religious family. The child is always told that what mother says, that what father says is gold, and you cannot debate this and you will not debate this. I brought you into this world. I'll take you out. You need me for everything. They make sure that this child is never in a position to provide for themselves as they grow older financially, so that they have no means to support themselves. They also know that it will be difficult if this child is isolated, and this is why they isolate them, for this child to go no contact, because they teach them that everybody needs family. And so they begin the process of demonically grooming their child to experience doom, gloom, and despair for the rest of their lives. Now, in childhood, you'll find that they begin or they may. And what I'm sharing is just, my thoughts and what I have witnessed. And it's only going to be part. Some of you would have experienced or have been made aware of other ways that parents isolate their children. And when we're all able to share these experiences, we can all learn together. So it's not to say that what I'm about to share is the be all and the end all. No, there is room for so much more. But you find that they constantly embarrass their children. And it gets to the point where these children don't even want to bring any friends home. They'll be the type of parents that no matter what, they derive narcissistic supply from seeing their child embarrassed. And this causes the children to not even want to make friends, because they think that if I make any friends and I take them home, my parent's going to act goofy. And I don't mean good kind of goofy, but they will be very embarrassing. You'll find that sometimes they can be the type of people that don't clean the house. They are hoarders. And just for that child to even consider bringing somebody to that home, they know they'll be the laughing stock of the school. So they don't. Or you'll find that some of these type of parents will encourage their children to actually make friends, and they want their children to make friends so that they can befriend their children's friends. Crazy. Only so that they can begin to triangulate their child, to use their friends as flying monkeys, so that they can run smear campaigns against their child and tell their friends how they suffer at the hands of their disobedient child, how their child is dirty, how their child doesn't wash themselves properly and they're nasty. But what they don't get is that this child is nothing more than a reflection of you. You are the adult in this case. The narcissist is the adult in this case. And so as much as they feel like they're, smearing the child, they're really just exposing themselves. They're really speaking to who they are. They will say things like their child is a difficult child, their child wets the bed, they don't shower, they have poor hygiene, and they'll play the role of the victim. They also will do things like want to meet their child's friends' parents and do the same thing to them. And it will get to the point where the parents of any potential friend won't want their child hanging out with that bad kid. And while the other children talk about these things at school, because that's what kids do, and they laugh and, make jokes and whatever, this child is embarrassed and they learn how to retreat and to withdraw. One thing I want you to know about isolation, I saw this quote several years ago on Twitter, and it has stuck with me. And it says, isolation is the devil's institution. Do not enroll. I don't even know who the original author of that quote was, but it's so powerful. Isolation is the devil's institution. When this kid is left alone, there is nobody to share life with. When God created Adam and Eve, he said it's not good for man to be alone. Of course, in that instance, it was talking about a husband and a wife, but he gave friendship even in that relationship. So we know that relationship is important. But these children are encouraged, or they are groomed to experience life alone, to not talk about how they're feeling, to not talk about what they're afraid of and what makes them happy, or to share the pains that they're experiencing, to talk about their dreams, their goals, their aspirations. The child always has to be a form of supply. You'll find that these same parents will ruin their children's special occasions. And, they may set up a birthday party and run a smear campaign right before the birthday party so nobody shows up. Or allow everybody to come and then do something that will embarrass the kid. Be the center of attention. Get drunk. Do something crazy. Say something bad about that child that they just retreat in shame. The child has to be a lifetime supply because they are being told that nobody else wants you. You are not good enough for anybody else. You cannot be a functioning and a normal member of society. This is the message that it sends to the children. These parents do everything to demoralize the children. You may find that, especially when this is something that I witnessed happen to somebody that I know, where the parent, she was a bit heavy set, but her parent bought her an item of clothing that was 3 sizes too big and said, "Oh, I thought that was your real size because you are big after all." Or then the same parent bought something that was several sizes too small and said, "Well, you can wear it." And it was a beautiful outfit. So she was really happy about it and told her, "Well, if you lose weight, you can look beautiful in this dress." Never bought her anything that beautiful before. And so lift her up to break her down. Some of these side effects of isolation cause these children to grow up expecting the other shoe to fall in every aspect of their lives. And so they isolate themselves on purpose because they just don't feel that they can integrate themselves with society even as they become adults. For some of them, they just feel that my parents rejected me. Why would anybody else want me? They think about the jokes and the fun that was made out of them, out of their pain, out of their shame, out of something that hurt them deeply, and think that I can't go out there. I can't be part of life. And so they're the ones who end up staying within these family structures. And this is all they experience for the rest of their lives. They don't get to experience life. They don't get to partake in life. They don't get to have a life of their own. They're taught that it would be fearful. The world would eat them up. They're ill prepared for life. On the flip side, you have those children that can't wait to leave. And they go and leave. And yet, because of everything that they've been taught, how they have been demonically groomed, they are a magnet, an easy target for other predators. And they have already been set up to expect this type of abuse. So when they get into relationships with other narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, everything feels like home. They don't resist it. They don't fight it because this is what they have known. It's the same soundtrack from their childhood. Same rhythm, the same beat. It's the same dance. It's the same demon at work. It's only the outer shell that has changed. Children, survivors of narcissistic parents, are groomed for, or children of narcissistic parents, should I say, are groomed for additional abuse. And this is the betrayal. This is the betrayal of their parents. Parents, we are supposed to protect our children. We are our children's defenders. We do not pass our children on to a demon. We do not willingly give our children over to a force ill-prepared, ill-equipped to fight. But that is what they face. That is what they experience. That is what life becomes. Until they are able to break away from that. And that is a if. So these are my thoughts about how narcissistic parents betray their children by grooming them to accept isolation. I look forward to hearing what you have to say. Until the next video, God bless you and be good to yourself.